Alright, so, gotta be honest, this has been like one of the more boring weeks of college football we've had recently in week 10, as there is one good game, a lot of others that shouldn't have been close, but they were. I maybe there's two good games. Utah Washington was decent too. The other one was pretty much UGA Florida. But we did have some upsets this week, as we had Appalachian State and FSU both used, as App State lost to Georgia Southern 24-21. I would say expect a big drop-off for Appalachian State, but who knows? They, for some reason, really like these non-conference people or freaking only have one loss, even though the team they lost to is not very good at all. I don't understand that. I don't think they should be even close to being ranked if they have one loss, especially if their schedule is very weak. But don't be surprised they're still ranked. Then also SMU lost to Memphis. Memphis we know is a very good team anyway, so I'm not really surprised by this. It was 48-54. No defense game. It was a really fun game to watch though, as Michelle's proving once again he's on fire. He's a really good quarterback. And then of course we had UGA beat Florida 24-17. I didn't really get to watch this game. I wish I would have, because apparently it seems like it was pretty interesting. I watched like half of it, but then I don't know what happened. I think I turned on Notre Dame because I'm a Notre Dame fan. I ended up watching that instead. I completely forgot about UGA. Pretty sure UGA was controlling them, so I thought it was Florida wasn't going to win. But it barely won, so might something happened. I might have to go back and watch it. And talking about Notre Dame, God, their offense is terrible. I hate to admit it, but they had 3 turnovers, should have been 4, only 106 rushing yards. When Notre Dame's supposed to be a very good rushing team, but they didn't run the ball at all. That's Notre Dame's main focus. It's what makes Notre Dame Notre Dame. It's their rushing team, offensive line and running backs. What Notre Dame is. But I will give them credit. They had a great final drive. They won 21-20. It's just Notre Dame's gonna get a lot of hate for having a close game. Even though Oklahoma lost to Kansas State, Wisconsin lost to Illinois. There's some questionable losses this year. Notre Dame just had a close one. A win's a win. But Utah barely escaped from Washington as they won 33-28. Jacob Eason actually looked questionable for once, and he seemed to be perfect for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you could say, as making questionable decisions and throwing interceptions with a big arm. Bruce Arians really likes that. But his decisions were a little off there. The one big thing to take away was tight end Hunter Bryant for Washington. Really looks like the real deal. Should be a really good draft prospect coming up. And Utah's defense easily won them that game. I'm not a big fan of Utah's offense. I know they have Zach Moss, the running back, but in a running back loaded class, he's just going to get pushed down the board. He ain't going to get that much hype. He'll probably end up being number 2, number 3 running back on someone's team. But Utah's defense is really where it's at, and that's really what puts them over the top, especially cornerback Jalen Johnson. Then we had Oregon, who handled USC 56-24, and it was 10-0 after the first quarter for USC. And then Ducks just came back. They ended up having 56-14 game after that first quarter, which is crazy ridiculous. Then we had Cincinnati handled a close one against East Carolina. They won 46-43, but actually made an amazing comeback in the fourth quarter, and that's really why they ended up winning this game. It could kind of take a knock on them in the playoff rankings that we have coming out on Tuesday, which should be fun to watch. Make sure you guys tune into that. Playoff rankings, official rankings that people actually care about. Because, no one cares about those AP rankings anymore. Auburn also barely won against Ole Miss, 20-14. Once again, bad team. Good team barely escapes. It happens to everybody. And then on Thursday night, Baylor barely beat West Virginia to keep their undefeated streak alive, 17-14. I'm interested to see how this Baylor-Oklahoma game is going to go. I wouldn't even be shocked if we see Baylor lose to Texas as well. It's gonna be close. I don't think Baylor's that good of a team. They just had a weak schedule so far. And I think they beat Kansas State earlier this year, but who knows? We'll find out. But let's go through my top 25 now. So a lot of these teams had byes, so they didn't really get moved a lot. But we'll start out with number 1, still Ohio State at 8-0. Number 2, still LSU at 8-0. Number 3, still Bama at 8-0. Number 4, still Clemson at 9-0. Number 5, still Penn State at 8-0. Number 6 is Oregon at 8-1. Number 7 is Georgia at 8-1. Number 8 is Baylor at 9-0. Number 9 is Oklahoma at 7-1. Number 10 is Utah at 8-1. Number 11 is Florida at 7-2. Number 12 is Minnesota at 8-0. Number 13 is Wisconsin at 6-2. Number 14 is Michigan at 7-2. Number 15 is Auburn at 7-2. Number 16 is Notre Dame at 7-2. Number 17 is Wake Forest at 7-1. Number 18 is Iowa at 6-2. Number 19 is Cincinnati at 8-1. Number 20 is Memphis at 8-1. Number 21 is UCF at 7-2. Number 22 is Kansas State at 6-2. Number 23 is Indiana at 7-2. Number 24 is SMU at 8-1. And number 25 is Boise State at 7-1. And barely missing it was Navy, Texas, Oklahoma State, and Texas A&M. So those were my recaps for Week 10 and my top 25 for this upcoming week. I want to hear your guys' thoughts for Week 10 down below. What did you guys take away from it? I just want to hear it. Also, what's your guys' top 25 for this week? I'd like to see that as well, as it's good to see other people's opinions on things. And of course, leave a suggestion for another sports video if you guys have one down below, and I may end up doing it one of these days. Of course, thanks for watching. Make sure to click those links down below, as there's Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and Patreon. And of course, just make sure to keep the sports fleet flowing throughout the day.